Hey, my name is Joey Finrow. I'm a local real estate agent to Rancho Santa Margarita. I also live in Rancho Santa Margarita, and today we're going to do a deep dive into two specific communities in the RSM area, one of them being Dove Canyon and Coto de Caza. We're going to find out which community is better. We're going to compare them to, and then find out the market in Rancho Santa Margarita and Coto de Caza and Dove Canyon. How's the real estate market overall? Stay tuned and watch the rest of this video. Okay, so some of the history of Rancho Santa Margarita and Dove Canyon, Coto de Caza. So let's start off with Dove Canyon. Dove Canyon actually started to be developed in the early 90s. There are no condos or townhomes in Dove Canyon. That's one of the major differences between Dove Canyon and Coto de Caza. Dove Canyon is more unison, meaning it's all single family homes. There's a couple different variations, but it's very put together, and it's more of an even playing field, if you will, of that product. Homes in Dove Canyon can go from 1,500 square feet to 4,000, but they're all single family home, either 2 or 3 car garages. There is a golf course in Dove Canyon, but it started off in the early 90s, and it all went up to the late 90s in development. And it's all, again, single family homes. There is one golf course, and it's a private country club golf course called Dove Canyon Country Club. So there's one golf course there. Dove Canyon, it is a gated community. And so if you're looking for a gate for safety protection or just that elegant feel, Dove Canyon definitely has you there. And another benefit of Dove Canyon is there's rolling hills and mountains, also similar to Coto has that, but Dove Canyon has just a lot of beauty, a lot of open space. One difference with Dove Canyon is that there is obviously an association and a pool, and everybody in Dove Canyon has access to the pool. You don't have to pay an additional membership to use the community pool, but there's a pool, hot tub, cabanas at Dove Canyon, which is quite nice. Most association pools don't have cabanas, but it really feels like you're at a resort style pool when you go to the association pool. There's also tennis courts and pickleball and a lot of trails that you can access. There's several options at Dove Canyon where you can not even leave the gate, but you can walk up and down through many different trails that go all the way up Saddleback Mountain, which is pretty unique there. And then one of the last things about Dove Canyon is going to be there is a private country club inside. Obviously, there's that golf course, but there's also a country club where you can eat and drink. So if you're looking at last minute, need to get dinner or drinks or whatnot, you can do that all within the gate. Now, to have access to the country club, you do need to have a membership. There's membership options from social all the way to full golf. I believe right now in 2026, the social membership is just under $80 a month. I think it's $76 a month. So for most people that want access to a private country club, that's fairly affordable for a social membership. One of the other things about Dove Canyon is that the gate is very strict. It's very difficult to get through Dove Canyon gate unless somebody has put you on their list. Now, comparing that to Coto can be a little bit different. It's fairly easier to get through the gate of Coto. If you've been there a lot, you almost can say anything and they'll let you in the gate. So that's one difference there. Now, going to Coto de Caza, some of the benefits and differences of Coto is it's a really big community. Coto has options of townhomes and condos there, but they also have more custom estates. So if you're looking for a bigger property or more land, Coto de Caza is definitely a better option for that. Or if you have a horse and want that equestrian feel, Coto has that. And to be in Orange County and to have horse property in a very nice neighborhood, there's only a couple communities that have that in all of Southern California. Similar to Rancho Santa Fe, Coto de Caza is a miniature feel of that, in my opinion. And so if you want more of a ritzier horse property neighborhood, Coto de Caza is definitely a great option for you there. They have homes going up to 20,000 square feet. So you can get a small condo to 20,000 square feet. They also have the custom estates where every home is a little bit different, and it can be 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20,000 square feet on a couple acres. Another one is Coto not only has a country club, but they have 2 golf courses. Both of the golf courses are a little bit difficult. So if you're an avid golfer, either of these two are going to be a good fit for you. They're both a little bit narrow, but I would say I've golfed a lot also in Irvine. And golfing from Irvine, excluding Shady Canyon, but anywhere else in Irvine or most of Orange County, then going to Dove Canyon or Coto, the golf, it makes everything else feel boring because there's just a lot of rolling hills, a lot of trees, a lot of woods and creeks and stuff in both of those golf courses. And it's just you almost feel like you're in Idaho or Washington State as you're golfing. So that's pretty cool, but you're in Southern California and Southern Orange County. So that's a benefit there. Last thing about Caza is that they have this white picket fence throughout the whole community. And it's just a classic touch of Coto de Caza, that and then the windmill. There's a couple of those on the golf courses. And so very, very good communities. And so that's some helpful information about Coto de Caza and Dove Canyon. Okay, so a quick market snapshot in real estate for Dove Canyon, Coto de Caza, is that right now a little bit more inventory is coming on the market in both of these neighborhoods, mainly because we're in the May, June time, which is when we typically have the most inventory in a given 12-month period. So we have a little bit more inventory than we normally have. Buyers have a little bit more options. That doesn't mean that they're gonna get 10, 20% off of what the home is actually worth. But what that means is that if you're looking to buy in Rancho Santa Margarita, Dove Canyon, Coto de Caza, you're gonna have a little bit more options. Homes are staying on the market a little bit longer than we normally see. But to me, this just gives the buyer an easier time to buy a house. So if you're looking to buy a home and you don't wanna compete against 10 offers or 20 offers, right now is a decent time to at least enter into the market and see if you can land a home for your family. So homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. Buyers can request the sellers to do a couple more things as far as credits or repairs during the escrow timeframe. I'm going to predict over the next, let's say, 6 months in these two neighborhoods and what's going to happen in the real estate market. Rates are going to go down just a little bit. If I'm predicting here, this is not a guarantee, but it's just my good guess. If rates come down just a little bit, I think that prices are just going to continue to climb. Prices have already been climbing these last 4 years since rates started going above 6%. They've been hovering between 6 and 7% for the last 4 years, which is just incredible. And prices have held in both Dove Canyon and Coto de Caza. And so interest rates come down just a little bit. Naturally, that fuels the market. As debt becomes cheaper, more people entertain coming into the market and get off the sidelines and start looking and start placing offers. And so when that happens, prices tend to go up. So I think that prices are going to go up, not 10, 20%, but maybe a couple, 2, 3% over the next six months through the end of the year here. If you're looking to sell your home in Dove Canyon or Coto de Caza, a couple things to consider is that how you price your home is the first thing that the buyer sees is pricing. So I educate my sellers that pricing is really where we should spend the most effort in making sure we get that right. Because if we get the price right, especially in a high demand market like Southern California, almost everything else is going to take care of itself. If your home is worth $2 million and you price it at 2.5, but then your neighbor's home that's worth $2 million prices at 1.95, which one's going to sell first? It's going to be the one at 1.95, right? Because it looks like a better value, looks like a better deal, and likely that home that priced at 1.95 is probably going to sell for 2.1, maybe a little bit over 2.1. And then the one that's listed at 2.5 is going to sit at 2.5, and they're going to slowly make price adjustments. So long story short, if you're going to sell your home in Dove Canyon, Coto de Caza, the first thing is get the price right. Look at what has sold. Yes, I understand your home is going to be different than everybody else's, but what an educated seller should do is look at what others in the neighborhood has sold for. Yes, it could be bigger, smaller, more upgraded or less upgraded, or has a different view. But the buyer and the appraiser, the first thing that they're going to see is what you have it listed for and then what has sold recently. Buyers just have so much information now today, and they're very educated, especially the younger buyer generation. Anybody below 40, or really anybody below 45, They're educated. They have everything that they need from the palm of their hands of what has sold, average price per square foot, all of that stuff. And so knowing that, we should be mindful of how we're going to list and price your home so that it's attractive and engaging to the buyer. Okay, so price it right. If your home is worth $2 million, if it's going to sell for $2 million every day of the week, I'd recommend slightly below $2 million, knowing that I'm going to have high demand and we're going to have multiple offers. We're going to counter all the serious buyers and get the best and final before we accept it, and likely go above $2 million. The second thing is, before you go on the market, just like if you're going to sell your car, you know, you're going to go through a car wash, you're going to get detailed, you're going to clean it up, you're going to get all your stuff smell good and look good, right? Same thing with your house, but even more important to put your best foot forward. So if there's areas, obviously you live in your home, right? It's common to see a little bit of wear and tear. It's nothing to be offended by, but spending a couple thousand getting it show ready is likely going to give you tens of thousands, multiple tens of thousands down the road. So if it's touch-up paint, having it professionally cleaned, maybe it's organizing and the house better and moving a lot of stuff in the garage. And then have your agent do professional photography, professional video, make sure that all the marketing is dialed in the most aggressive that it could be. And that's the third thing that I would do. So for sellers, if you're selling your home in Dove Canyon, Coto de Caza, again, pricing it, cleaning it, and then having it marketed and ready to go. Those are the three things that I would recommend a seller do in today's market in Dove Canyon and Coto de Caza. All right, so how's the lifestyle differences between Dove Canyon and Coto de Caza today in 2026? Dove Canyon, it is more a lot of families today, a lot of young families or people that have had families there and their kids are out of the house. But in the last couple of years, a lot of families have come to Dove Canyon. Dove Canyon is more like middle class and slightly upper middle class. It's common for kids to either go to private school or the local school. And Coto de Caza is a little bit of the same, but even more upper class is what I would say. Homes tend to be a little bit more expensive in Coto de Caza and a little bit less kids in Coto. There are kids in Coto de Caza, but generally it's not as much as Dove Canyon right now in 2026. So that wraps up today's talk on Dove Canyon, Coto de Caza. If you would like more information on Dove Canyon, Coto de Caza, what's going on in the market, or on just an updated market snapshot, leave a comment below. I'll also put a link in the description below. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video.